Welcome to the 2020 Greater Philadelphia Cultural Alliance's annual meeting. My name is Jamie J. Brunson. Call me Jamie J. I'm the Executive Director of First Person Arts and a member of the Board of Directors for the Cultural Alliance. It's my privilege to act as your MC today. As we begin our program, let us take a moment to center ourselves in this place and time. Truth and acknowledgement are critical to building mutual respect and connection across all barriers of heritage and difference. One way we strive toward that effort is by acknowledging that we are on the traditional lands of the Lenape people, and we pay our respects to elders, both past and present. Today, we come together as an alliance in a way that we have never done before. Traditionally, we've gathered together in person, feeling the kinetic energy of being with one another. But the world cannot allow for that right now, and so we've worked diligently to create a virtual annual meeting that captures the passion, emotion, and enthusiasm that pulsates through our sector, while also creating opportunities for meaningful engagement as we begin a new year together. For this year's theme, we've chosen to celebrate our alliance. We recognize that the word celebrate may give pause, especially in a year that has been so incredibly challenging. But what this event will do through brief artistic performances, video vignettes, and comments from the leadership of the Cultural Alliance is remind us that we as a sector have much to celebrate. Despite all that has happened, arts and culture continues to find ways to create, connect, and thrive. And in our alliance, we continue to draw on each other's strength to inspire and sustain us as we look ahead to better days. Now that's something to celebrate. Before our first performance, we want to take a few moments to acknowledge our sponsors who have made this virtual meeting possible. Today would not be possible without the generous support of your part-time controller, Tulsma Productions, Payroll Service Solutions, and TD Bank.
My name is Jennifer Oliva, Managing Partner of your Part-Time Controller and Board Member of the Greater Philadelphia Cultural Alliance. It is YPTC's great pleasure to support this year's annual meeting as lead sponsor. As partner to hundreds of nonprofits throughout the Greater Philadelphia area for nearly 3 decades, YPTC is honored to celebrate you, our region's resilient and vital arts and cultural community. YPTC endeavors to make financial reporting and accounting a strength for all nonprofits by providing flexible, customized bookkeeping, accounting, controllership, and CFO services. We assist nonprofits of all shapes and sizes and help organizations develop customized KPI dashboards to help executive directors and board members determine in a glance how effectively and efficiently their organization is accomplishing their mission. We recognize the traumatic and in many cases devastating impact that the pandemic has had on the arts sector. YPTC has tried to help the best we know how by providing financial management programming and resources to help you weather this incredible storm to stay afloat until we reach the other side. From webinars about the PPP loan process, resources on our website, and shifting all of our work to virtual, YPTC has been and will continue to be in strong support of you. Your work never stops, and therefore financial management never stops. Nonprofits need to know their numbers and where they are headed financially, especially now. If you need accounting support or just some advice on where to turn, we would love to try to help you. please visit our website, yptc.com, contact hello@yptc.com, or reach out to me directly. Today's event is one to remember, and YPTC is very pleased to be part of it. We hope that next year we can all be together again in person, and until then, thank you for all that you do for our artists, our community, and our region.
As this is a virtual meeting, videos will be an important part of how we create shared meaning and connection today. There are several videos which will reflect on this unparalleled year for our community and our world. In advance, we thank Payroll Service Solutions for their sponsorship of these special videos. Now, to kick off our formal program is poet, performer, and educator Denise Froman, a Canto Mundo Fellow and former Women of the World Poetry Slam champion. Denise has received fellowships and awards from the National Association of Latino Arts and Cultures, Leeway Foundation, and graced hundreds of stages from the White House to the Apollo. Today, Denise will premiere a new spoken word piece which has been especially commissioned for our 2020 annual meeting. Presented by our sponsor TD Bank, please enjoy Denise's performance.
Petition to pledge allegiance to the DJ's brushstroke, the jazz singer's sacred scat, the conguero's poetry. Petition to honor the holy of a two-step when the day feels like a long procession of sorrow. Petition to replace this administration of awful with trombones and xylophones, with planeros and pop locks, with dreams projected on rooftops from 52nd to 5th and Lehigh. Petition to rename all our streets with the faces of our beloved bards. Hello, Sonia Sanchez Way. Hello, Ursula Rucker Avenue. May we stand at the intersection of love and rage singing, something big is coming. And while we're here, petition for drumming to be an Olympic sport, for salsa to be an official language, for the national anthem to be rewritten by young people chanting El Pueblo Unido down Market Street. Petition to elect the juicy Juneberries outside my window, the cherry blossoms shedding their pink skins. Petition to be bedazzled by the canopy of sunflowers on Osage, their bulbed skins protruding like speakers. Or, just a block away, a blues of lamb's ear grows its velvety skin so soft when they say there's no beauty here, whisper, here is my flag. Petition to be remade and unmade in the making, the way a monarch butterfly might slither from its wetsuit right before diving headfirst into the world. Petition because the time is now to grow new limbs, to say what needs to be said, do what needs to be done, to write what makes the blood move. So petition, not for art's sake, but for art as a basic need. As we collect our collective worth, we collect our dignity. So petition to say resilient and mean resistance. Petition to reimagine, to replace batons cracking peaceful patriots with rolled up posters from West Philly that read, solidarity is contagious. Petition to replace canisters of poison with the smoke lyricists leave in their trails, with the singing of we the people. If and only if we means smoke signal, a billowing cloud of hands that says your liberation is my liberation and my liberation is your liberation. So petition to pick up the brooms and the bass, petition to heed the call of this day, petition to hum that tune as we use our tools, as we dance, as we paint, as we sing, as we do language, as we reimagine, we reckon, as we rewire, we remember, as we join the booming orchestra of movement singing, something big is coming. Something big is already here.
Thank you, Denise, for sharing your work and passion with us today. And again, our thanks to TD Bank for supporting this special performance. Now, to share a few brief remarks reflecting on this past year and what lies ahead, here's the chair of the Cultural Alliance's Board of Directors, Kathy Cahill.
Hello, I'm Catherine Cahill, President and CEO of the Mann Center for the Performing Arts and Chair of the Board of Directors for the Greater Philadelphia Cultural Alliance. Much in our world has changed since we came together last September for our annual meeting. We have experienced a year unlike any other, and as we virtually reconvene today, we continue to be challenged and changed as a sector. COVID-19 and a critical national conversation on the issue of racial justice have defined not just our work, but our lives in these past months. There have been seismic shifts, but even in a year defined by uncertainty, a year when the in-person work of this robust sector has been paused, this is a moment for pride. I have always believed that arts and culture not only has the power to unite, but more importantly, it has the power to heal. We've needed both this year. I continue to be awed by the resilience, innovation, and commitment that the arts and culture sector has demonstrated in these last months. When the region needed us most, our sector responded. We uniquely understood that we could still create community, engage minds, and open hearts. Even if stage performances were halted, exhibits couldn't be staged, museum doors remained closed. As we begin this new year for the Cultural Alliance, we recognize that challenges still lie ahead. However, there are also wonderful opportunities for continued innovation, collaboration, and positive change. As you know, the Cultural Alliance is in an executive leadership transition following the well-deserved retirement of Maud Lyon, who ably led the organization for the past 5 years. Today, you will hear from our interim president and CEO, Priscilla Luce, who will continue to move the Cultural Alliance forward as the Board of Directors engages in a national search for a permanent president and CEO. Be assured that this process will be inclusive and have a keen focus on identifying a leader ready to embrace this moment of change and possibility. We will also continue to be the voice of the sector, a role that no other organization can play as effectively as the Cultural Alliance. This past year, we used our collective voice to stem the tide of unimaginable cuts to arts and culture funding. But there is still more for us to do, especially in working toward a full restoration of the Philadelphia Cultural Fund. We will also continue our work to ensure that the sector embraces racial equity, not just in our words, but in our actions. To meet this important moment, the Board of Directors has established a new standing committee on diversity, equity, and inclusion, which will be chaired by Angela Val, Chief Administrative Officer from the Philadelphia Convention and Visitors Bureau. So, as we celebrate our alliance, I continue to reflect on how remarkable our sector has been in the face of what might be deemed insurmountable odds. We continue to grow and strengthen through the diversity of our work and our perspectives. Yet, we remain tethered to a singular mission, which places our audiences at the center of all we do. We continue to uplift them, and in doing so, we uplift one another. I thank you for all your work on behalf of our sector, and as we move forward into this next year, we do so together with purpose and passion.
Thank you, Kathy, for that rousing reminder of how arts and culture indeed changes lives. As you and so many have reflected upon, this year has been defined by unimaginable challenges and strife. But as always, our community has rallied, rising to the occasion. In the midst of crisis, It is arts and culture with our creativity and can-do spirit that steps forward to both comfort and inspire our audiences. Please enjoy this short video showing the many ways in which our arts and culture has responded to the challenges of this year in full.
"2020 has proven to be a year of uncertainty and fear, starting with the early reports in January of a mysterious SARS-like virus. By March, COVID-19 had reached us in Philadelphia, emerging as a widespread global pandemic.
Everything has been pretty precarious for us for months now. This COVID-19 is just the icing on an already dry and dusty cake. So, bon appetit.
Life as we knew it came to a grinding halt. Rapidly, we shifted to learning, working, and living remotely. As the world became an unfamiliar place of stillness and unpredictability, arts and culture responded with a passionate resolve to inspire and create community. Even as we canceled seasons and closed doors, our sector was galvanized. We sought new ways to do what we are called to do: create. Our staff, communities, and patrons all look to us for peace of mind, a reason to laugh, a shared connection, and above all, hope. We rolled up our sleeves to pull off what felt impossible. We sent art supplies and musical instruments to our students who are now learning and creating at home. We hosted live sessions on social media to talk about literature, dance, and theater. We held countless virtual meetings to check in on one another. We led full virtual program rosters, sharing our collections, archives, and talents in the digital space. And despite unprecedented circumstances and often frightening conditions, we demonstrated that arts and culture is essential to the way we live, connect, and grow. And as we look ahead, we remain confident that our sector will continue to be essential to a world forever changed by this pandemic.
It is truly inspiring to see how much the arts and culture community has accomplished in one of the most difficult years. Now we will have a few words from Priscilla Luce, Interim President and CEO of the Cultural Alliance. Priscilla is a loaned executive to the Cultural Alliance who will lead us through our organizational transition as we search for a new permanent president and CEO. She has previously served on our board, and Priscilla is the president of the Albert M. Greenfield Foundation. Priscilla?
Welcome to the 2020 annual meeting for the Greater Philadelphia Cultural Alliance. I'm Priscilla Luce, Interim President and CEO of the Cultural Alliance. While I wish we could be together, I'm delighted to have an opportunity to brief you on the state of our alliance and our work on behalf of this committed membership. Before I begin, I want to take a moment to acknowledge our generous sponsors who have made this annual meeting possible. Their support of the arts and culture sector and of our alliance is vital. We are grateful to your part-time controller, Tolsma Productions, Payroll Service Solutions, and TD Bank for standing with us as we begin to move forward into this new year. This meeting is a moment to catch our collective breath after a year of challenge, change, and transition. The annual meeting we convene today is not one that we would have envisioned just 6 months ago. Yet the Cultural Alliance has worked actively to respond to the needs of our membership in a time of tremendous uncertainty. And it is important to acknowledge that despite the crisis of COVID-19, there is much for us as an alliance of 468 members to celebrate. This is an organization in strong financial health, ending fiscal year 2020 with a small operating surplus. Thanks to sound financial management over the years, our reserve fund exceeds the minimum set by the Cultural Alliance Board of Directors. Even in this difficult year, and because of the important role we play, the Cultural Alliance continued to enjoy support from foundations, corporate partners, individuals, as well as the Commonwealth. And in this time of great need for the sector, we partnered with the Office of Arts, Culture, and the Creative Economy, and the Philadelphia Cultural Fund to launch the COVID-19 Arts Aid Philadelphia Fund. With the support of a group of institutional funders and individual donors, we distributed more than $4 million to 977 artists and 466 cultural organizations across the region. The Alliance's expenses during the past year centered on supporting membership, advocacy, research, audience engagement, and marketing. We are a member organization first and foremost. Moving forward, we will continue to strengthen our support for our members, providing the resources and guidance on best practices as we emerge from the pandemic. We will also continue in our advocacy efforts at this moment of opportunity. Our shared voice must help build greater understanding of how essential arts and culture is to our region and all who live here. Our sector remains a critical economic and creative engine for our region, and we will continue to make that case in all we do. And we will also build upon our 4-year track record in diversity, equity, and inclusion. Our member working groups in this area and our new standing committee of the Alliance Board will help the Alliance to carve out the next phase of this critical effort. We will continue to educate ourselves through facilitated anti-racism trainings and embrace equity and inclusion, ensuring opportunity for Black, Indigenous, and people of color in arts and culture. There is much work to be done, but we are committed to creating safe spaces for BIPOC and delivering high-impact activities that achieve real change. Our board leadership further reflects the diversity and strength of the arts and culture sector, as well as the Philadelphia region at large. In a vote of the membership, we will welcome a slate of new board members this year, as well as return 4 board members for second terms. We also thank 3 institutional directors and 2 community directors for their years of dedicated service to the Cultural Alliance. No doubt the days and months ahead will continue to challenge us. But I remain confident in our alliance to see us and this region through to new and better days. When I find myself yearning for the normal we once had, I often come back to the words of Auguste Rodin. The main thing is to be moved, to love, to hope, to tremble, to live. This is who we are, this is what we do, and this is what we celebrate today.
Thank you, Priscilla, for centering us all on the work the Cultural Alliance is doing to support our membership and the sector. As Priscilla referenced, the work of the Cultural Alliance in diversity, equity, and inclusion has been an important 4-year journey and will continue to expand as we move forward. Please, take a moment to view this collection of footage, which highlights how the arts and culture community has shown up in light of current events around racial injustice and provided support to the Black Lives Matter movement.
Despite all of our achievements, the global pandemic has provided us with a magnifying glass which highlights the inequities that run rampant through our nation and our own cultural community. We were faced with the perfect storm. Tensions were mounting as we navigated our new normal of myriad challenges, from simple things like shopping for groceries and finding toilet paper, to larger concerns around job insecurity and the growing cases of COVID in our neighborhoods. Fear became rampant. These complex realities, topped with the onslaught of police brutality, reached an excruciating peak with the murder of George Floyd. Protests broke out across the nation as communities of Black and brown people grieved and cried out for justice. While the struggles of systemic racism are not new in our country or in arts and culture, there is a real recognition and resolve to make widespread changes. Organizations issued statements of solidarity and owned up to public missteps and inequities within our sector. Individuals are now seeking out resources to learn and practice anti-racism while questioning the current structures that uphold white supremacy. Change is in the air as everyone seeks a safe place to have hard but necessary conversations centering on race and equity. There is still work to be done to dismantle the systemic oppression in our sector and nation, but arts and culture continues to learn and act on matters of racial justice and equity in substantial ways.
Art reminds us to keep creating and to keep moving. And in that spirit, who better to show the power of movement than our friends from Philadelphia? Enjoy this performance of Enemy Behind the Gates, choreographed by Christopher Huggins and reimagined by the company in quarantine.
While our world may be different, the critical importance of arts and culture remains ever relevant. The darkness of our theaters, performance halls, and galleries reflect the realities of the pandemic. But what is emerging from the arts and culture sector is extraordinary. Our work is nimble, creative, and inspiring. We meet our audiences where they are, physically, virtually, and emotionally. We respond to their need to connect, combating head-on the isolation, fear, and righteous anger of this incredible time. Whether through digital programming, ArtsAid Philadelphia, or our advocacy efforts, we fight for our sector across the region. Arts and culture is never quiet. In fact, I would argue we roar, especially now. And we will continue to roar as we move into this new year for the Cultural Alliance.
This unprecedented year has demanded difficult decisions of our entire sector. It is a year that has challenged us, exhausted us, and changed us. Despite so many adversities, arts and culture has proven to be resilient. We still have much to celebrate. Take pride in our community, big and small, for within it, we reflect the true depths of humanity, courage, and inspiration. No matter what comes our way, we must dare ourselves to forge ahead.
Hey, what's up, friends? Today we're going to be creating a song.
Continue to create, even when we feel defeated. Continue to innovate, even when we feel our hands are tied. Continue to revolutionize, even when we feel our backs against the wall. Continue to rebuild the community we love, even when we feel challenged by it. Continue to celebrate our wins, even when we suffer losses. Now is our time to come together, because we are arts and culture in Greater Philadelphia. We are an alliance.